Good day to you, my name's Andy Glover, and today we're talking about a game called Oddsparks, an automation adventure, developed by Massive Mini Team and published by Handy Games. They're both located in Germany, and they released this game on Steam Early Access in April 24th, 2024. And as of August 1st, there's also a demo on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Special thanks to the folks at Massive Mini Team for letting me try out this game so I could make this video about it. Oddsparks is an automation game, so think factory builders like Satisfactory, Factorio, Tectonica, Foundry, etc. It's a cozy entry point to the genre, which is great because it doesn't have any time constraints and your base isn't getting attacked, but it does offer combat as well as a good bit of complexity. So beginners and automation or factory veterans will both be able to enjoy this. It's kind of a hybrid with automation and this old game for Nintendo GameCube called Pikmin. I don't know if you've heard of it, but they did some sequels for Switch as well. You see, Oddsparks is all about these little entities called sparks, which are like these cute little tree stump dudes, and they power your factory. They transport objects, so they serve as your conveyor belts. They also help with production, fighting, harvesting, and more. So you carry around the sparks as items, and you can throw them at enemies or objects or paths, and you can put them inside of buildings to assign them to production. So that basically tells them what role you want them to play in your factory. And yes, you can pet the sparks. A big part of this game is pathing and logistics, telling your sparks where to go and in what direction. There's a collection of different paths that you can lay down that your sparks will follow. You can use these to build huge logistic networks. You can unlock the ability to cross paths, but you have to be careful. If you have too many sparks on one path, you can create traffic jams. You'll start simple, but eventually you might want to be pulling out the calculators and the spreadsheets to maximize production line efficiency. This is one of those easy-to-learn, hard-to-master games where every few hours something just clicks and you inherently level up your gameplay by virtue of how experienced you are at the game and its systems. It can be a relaxing and chill time, but there's definitely an element of planning and strategy on the management side of it. So it's not only an automation game, it's also kind of scratching an RTS itch, as it also has some simulation and strategy, and even some adventure and exploration too. The strange fantasy world you're dropped into is procedurally generated, so no two playthroughs will be the same. It's got different biomes with ancient ruins and secrets to uncover. You can visit the village where you'll meet all these NPCs that give you quests and advice and help you progress through the tech tree, unlocking new buildings and helping you expand your operations. They'll request certain items and you can deposit them into their respective chests as you acquire them. I really like the questing system. You can easily see which tier each quest belongs to and choose which order you want to complete them in accordingly. It gives you freedom, but at the same time, great guidance for progressing through the game. You also have monument quests, which you can complete by visiting the monument by the waypoint in town. Usually just deposit one item or one of each item, and it will unlock new gameplay mechanics. It's really cool how the quest log and waypoints are not just present in the game from the start. You do actually have to unlock these as you play, which is a nice touch. Also, waypoints don't just work, you have to keep them fueled by depositing fuel into them to burn. The newest update to Oddsparks is Trains and Trades. It adds a bunch of cool new stuff to the game, so of course there's trains. You can build your tracks above buildings and terrains to transport resources across the map, and you can also ride the train to get you to different parts of your base. It also adds a super cool logic system with switches, gates, and wires so you can control your spark paths and the trains themselves. It adds updated biomes and enemies, and visual progression to the village, more fuel options, custom waypoints and the spark thrower, an item sink so you can turn your excess resources into ether residue, and there's even more player customization options available from the tailor and the craftsman. There's a new tool that allows you to copy paths and buildings, and there's the addition of the Arty Spark, a new spark type that you can throw into a paint bucket and then use it to change the color of your buildings and paths. This game does have a beta co-op multiplayer feature which supports up to 4 players, but they say there's no hard cap, so I think that means you can just have as many people in a session as you want. They did say to enter at your own risk, so be careful if you're exceeding that 4-player limit, but I think that's a solid number of players for a good factory building co-op session. One cool thing they're doing with this game is making it super accessible. Like you can use mouse and keyboard, or a controller or gamepad. It's your choice, and you can also rebind a lot of the controls. And one other big part of accessibility is language support. In early access, the game supports English, German, French, simplified Chinese, and Japanese. And they're going to add more languages to it over time. You can check out Massive Mini Team's Discord. Log in and chat with the developers, ask questions, showcase your base, and share any tips and tricks you've discovered with fellow players. Oddsparks, an automation adventure, is $24.99 on Steam right now, and while you can customize your character in-game, you can also buy their supporter DLC to unlock even more cool cosmetic customizations. I know a lot of people are hesitant to jump into an early access title, but this game is already really solid and has over 25 hours of content, and I've been having a really great time with it so far. Thanks again to Massive Mini Team for providing me with a copy of the game so I could make this video. My name's Andy Glover, and you can check out more of my videos about video games right here on YouTube.